Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Every day we tell you something positive here.
Tell me something good.
All right, Vicki Moretz and Graham Kinder didn't book standby tickets for a 1982 World Airways flight from Washington, D.C. to London. They sagged the last seats on the plane. They wouldn't have spent the last 40 years married. She says, quote, "When you think back, all of the things that had to line up for us to meet is incredible," said Kinder. "One slight change of plans, we would have never met, and it was meant to be." So that Moetz and her friend Sandra were heading to England from a work-study program where Kinder was returning home after traveling through the U.S. They were thrilled to get the last 3 seats on the plane, all in one row. They became friends quickly. Kinder took the Americans on a whirlwind tour of London, and before leaving, to head north to his parents' house, he took pictures with Moritz and their arms around each other. They had an instant connection, and when Kinder visited London a few weeks later, by the end of that evening, they were holding hands, Moritz said. That was March 6th, and we were engaged July 4th and then married. They live in the U.S. and raised their 2 children, and they celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary in December, and their neighbor snapped a picture of them recreating the photo from their first night in London. There you have it, our feel-good story of the day, and we are welcoming in Ben Decker, AC Guy of Tampa Bay. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. How are you?
Hey, doing great, man. Blessed and highly favored, my friend. Thanks for coming in today.
No problem.
Yeah, my pleasure. Tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing, because I think one of the key things that people don't realize is we have our water quality expert, Fred DeFelice, comes in and talks about water quality, but you are talking about air quality inside the home.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so sometimes it's overlooked in an HVAC system, and the reason why it's important is because when your unit turns on, it starts to remove a lot of humidity out of the air, and it gets really cold inside that air handler. So when it shuts off, now it's getting warm. So you have hot and cold temperatures, moisture. There's a lot of bacteria built up inside the evaporator coil, which could also cause problems for your drain line. A good way to combat that is, everybody's heard of at this point, a UV light.
Okay. Yep.
So UV lights are good, but they're only good for what the light touches.
Okay.
Okay. So it'll help sanitize the airstream, help keep the evaporator clean. They're really good if you have a really clean unit. The house is pretty clean. That's what I would recommend for something like that. But if the unit already has signs of bacteria growth, we'd want to put more of an air purifier in.
Okay.
So air purifiers, they put things out into the air. Some use ozone, some use ions, but they sanitize not only the unit, but sanitize the air, the house, the ductwork. They send particles out that attach to surfaces in the house, and they sanitize everything. Currently, we're running a special on air purification, so feel free to give us a call. Our number is 727-286-3170. Or you can go on our Facebook, just type in the AC Guy of Tampa Bay.
The AC Guy of Tampa Bay, 727-286-3170, 727-286-3170. And you also have your VIP program, which is pretty awesome program. I've had it for years, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, so the VIP program, kind of a no-brainer. $16 a month. You get top-of-the-line service, so you move to the front of the line whenever you call. It's a discounted service charge, no matter what time of day it is, nights, weekends, during the day, doesn't matter. It's the same price. Also, you get 20% off of everything. So those air purifiers, UV lights, stuff like that, you're saving 20%. So it's a really good program to have. Again, I can't stress it enough. Drain lines are one of the most important things to get serviced, because that's one of the main reasons we go out to a service call.
That you get a call is like, hey, the drain line backed up, and hopefully it's not an upstairs unit, because now you got drywall damage on the ceiling, etc.
Oh yeah. I actually just did one yesterday. There was mold and bacteria all underneath the unit because it was just draining down onto the the box that it was standing on.
Right. Yeah. So that's a consumer tip there. Clean your drain line, or call the AC Guy of Tampa Bay. Let them do it. And when you mentioned air quality earlier, I can't help but think about the folks out in Ohio right now. They're dealing with that train that derailed. It had all these chemicals on it. It was something to do with PVC pipe, the material that makes the PVC, the chemical, and that's all in the air. And so my mind goes out to them, or my heart goes out to them as well. Indoor air quality, such a key component of life.
Yeah, and realistically, we start putting double, triple pane windows in. Houses just can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
We get duct, your attic. Everything. Mm-hmm. It can't breathe. And the sun naturally sanitizes the air. Mm-hmm. So we're basically living inside of our own funk in our house.
Right, in the home. Yep, in the home. Yep.
So air purification is very important because it puts the power of the sun back into your house to help sanitize everything.
Now, is that an external unit, or does it build into the one that you already have?
It actually goes inside the air conditioner.
The air conditioner?
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we've talked in the past, too, air quality is such an important part. The VIP program makes a lot of sense for people to have that system, that in place. And the UV lighting, I think that's great for folks, too. How do they know? Let's in our final minute or so here, what are some of the biggest consumer tips that you would think? Like, how do people know they're choosing the right air conditioning contractor? Or maybe the flip side of that, what is something to look out for, like a telltale sign of a bad contractor?
Yeah, that's a very important question. Yeah, so a lot of contractors are what we call shady, mm-hmm. right? So they're not pulling permits. They're because the prices end up being higher because when people have to pull a permit, there's a lot more guidelines that we have to follow.
Right.
And so sometimes the cheaper price isn't always the best option because you go with a contractor that's so-called shady. How do you know they're doing the right thing?
Right. And there's probably limited warranty, too, if they're doing it that way.
Right, yeah. So a lot of times they don't register the warranty. And if you don't register the warranty, then it defaults to 5-year parts warranty, usually. Our company, we handle everything in-house. So you just have to sign the paper and pay the bill. That's it. We're going to register the warranty. Most of our units come with 10-year parts and labor. So a lot of companies, they're not going to be doing something.
And what's the website there, Ben?
It's the AC Guy of Tampa.
.com. Right, yeah. Just you leave off Bay on that. acguyofttampa.com. Perfect. All right, my friend. Thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thanks.
Appreciate you. All right, hey, another great show. Jason Coble, Tom Ryberg, Ben Decker. Another great show, and we want to thank you for watching and encourage you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.